What if the real reason your socks keep disappearing is much more cosmic than you think? Imagine, if you will, a miniature black hole residing somewhere between your washing machine and the sock drawer. This isn't just a whimsical fantasy. It's a playful exploration into the mysteries that could be lurking right under our noses, or under our beds. Often we think of black holes as these massive, devouring presences in distant galaxies, far beyond the reach of our telescopes. But what if smaller versions were as common as the daisies in our backyards? These tiny cosmic whirlpools might just be the culprits behind many household mysteries. Snatching socks, keys, and that one earring you swore you left on the dresser. The idea of domestic black holes could revolutionize how we perceive our daily irritations. No longer would we blame the dog or accuse family members of misplacing our belongings. Instead, we might start checking the corners of our homes for signs of these enigmatic anomalies, perhaps finally solving the age-old mystery of where all the lost pens go. To truly appreciate the potential of backyard black holes, let's loosen up our scientific ties a bit and think creatively. A black hole, in the most traditional sense, is a point in space where gravity pulls so much that even light cannot get out. But in our quirky, hypothetical scenario, they're much more than galactic vacuum cleaners. They're part of our everyday life, contributing to the household ecosystem. Imagine a black hole as a sort of cosmic recycling bin. It doesn't just disappear things, it reprocesses them into the universe. Perhaps those socks aren't gone but have been sent on a journey across the cosmos, eventually to reappear as part of a comet's tail or as interstellar dust. This playful interpretation helps us see black holes not as fearsome destroyers but as mysterious and even beneficial neighbors. This reimagined role for black holes could help us understand why sometimes things come back. You know, like that wrench you thought you lost forever, and then one day, it's inexplicably back in the toolbox. Maybe our black hole neighbors are just borrowing our tools, using them in cosmic constructions before courteously returning them. Consider your garden, a place of growth and life and perhaps a hiding spot for a black hole. It's not as far-fetched as it sounds. Plants mysteriously dying, tools disappearing, or unexplained soil depressions could all be signs of a black hole's presence. This section of the yard, often overlooked, might just be the most scientifically fascinating. What if black holes played a role in composting? Organic material thrown into the compost could be getting a fast pass to decomposition through a black hole, turning yesterday's leftovers into today's nutrient-rich soil at an accelerated rate. It's a wild thought, but in a universe as vast and strange as ours, who's to say what's truly impossible? And if black holes are indeed lurking in the garden, think of the implications for pest control. No need for chemicals when you have a cosmic phenomenon on your side. Pesky insects or weeds might simply be getting whisked away to another dimension, leaving your garden in pristine condition. Have you ever glanced over at your neighbor's pond and noticed something a bit off? Perhaps the water swirls in a strange pattern, or objects near it occasionally seem to slip into the water without a trace. Could it be that this pond is not just a body of water but a gateway to a cosmic mystery? Ponder for a moment the possibility that what appears to be a pond is actually a cover for a watery black hole. It's an amusing thought, ducks swimming casually on the surface while just beneath, cosmic forces are at play, pulling and distorting the very fabric of space-time. This could explain why sometimes the water level seems inexplicably low, or why things near the pond seem to disappear. It's not evaporation or poor memory, it's a black hole discreetly doing its work under the guise of pond water. Picture your garden shed, a place where tools are stored, odd jobs are started, and, perhaps, the laws of physics are bent. Inside, could there be a black hole, not just stealing light but also time and space? The shed, with its creaky door and shadowy corners, might just be the perfect place for a black hole to reside. Every time you step into the shed and find that hours have passed in what felt like minutes, could it be that you were brushing against the edges of a temporal anomaly? This whimsical interpretation turns a mundane task like retrieving a hammer into an adventure at the edge of understanding. And think about those tools that seem to vanish into thin air, only to reappear weeks later in the exact place you first looked. It could be that the shed's black hole is playful, momentarily borrowing your belongings before sheepishly returning them. Our pets, particularly cats, often behave in ways that defy explanation. One moment they are here, and the next they vanish, only to reappear just as mysteriously. Could our furry friends be aware of and interacting with these household black holes? Imagine a cat, intrigued by the strange gravity of a black hole, playing around it, using it as a hideout from where it watches the world unseen. This scenario could offer a fantastical explanation for the enigmatic behavior of pets, suggesting they might be the true keepers of cosmic secrets. And consider the odd times when a pet stares intently at a seemingly empty space, or barks or meows at nothing. Perhaps they're not reacting to empty air but are aware of cosmic visitors in our midst, their senses tuned to frequencies we simply cannot perceive. The kitchen, with its myriad gadgets and frequent disappearances, could be another hotspot for miniature black holes. Ever wondered why you can never find the lid that matches the pot? Or why one of the double-ended measuring spoons always goes missing? A culinary black hole might be the whimsical culprit. This notion could transform cooking mishaps into adventures in quantum mechanics. Dropping a spoon might see it being sucked into a tiny vortex under the fridge, only to reappear when you least expect it. It adds a layer of cosmic intrigue to the otherwise mundane act of making dinner. And then there's the mystery of the perpetually missing Tupperware lids. Perhaps they're not just hidden behind the microwave or lost in the dishwasher, maybe they've been temporarily absorbed into a black hole traveling through the fabric of space-time, only to return when they're most needed. Now let's turn our attention to the garden again, specifically to the curious case of vanishing garden gnomes. These quaint decorations do more than add charm. They might also be indicators of black hole activity. Have you ever noticed a gnome that seems to move around the garden with no explanation? Perhaps it's not the work of pranksters, but the influence of a black hole. The idea that garden gnomes could be interacting with black holes adds a delightful layer of mystery to their presence. They could be the sentinels of the garden, guardians of the cosmic portal, moving about to keep things in check or to confuse potential threats. And if gnomes do vanish, only to reappear days or weeks later, maybe they're not being stolen or misplaced. Maybe they're going on cosmic journeys, exploring the universe in ways we can only dream of, and then returning to their posts, full of secrets they cannot share. In conclusion, while the notion of backyard black holes is highly speculative and not supported by current scientific understanding, it serves as a fun and fascinating way to engage with the mysteries of the universe. By imagining these cosmic phenomena in familiar settings, we turn the ordinary into the extraordinary, and the mundane into the magical. This playful exploration encourages us not only to question and marvel at the universe, but also to find joy and mystery in our everyday surroundings. Who knows? Perhaps one day, science will reveal that these whimsical ideas aren't as far-fetched as they seem. So, the next time you lose your keys or stumble upon a misplaced item, take a moment to wonder. Instead of frustration, let there be a spark of curiosity. Could there be a black hole in your backyard? It's a cosmic question worth pondering, with a smile.